These quarter-dollar coins look damaged, dirty, and worthless, but collectors are paying millions for them. In this video, you'll discover the rare dirty quarters you should never ignore. The United States Bicentennial Drummer Boy quarter dollar, dated 1776, featuring a D mint mark with an error. This particular coin, in circulated condition with noticeable lamination damage on the obverse, stands out as a remarkable example of how a seemingly ordinary commemorative coin can fetch astonishing sums at auction due to rarity, error, and historical significance. To understand the value and allure of this coin, we need to delve into the historical context and design of the Bicentennial series. The United States Bicentennial coins were minted to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the nation's independence. Unlike standard quarters, the Bicentennial quarter features a unique reverse design, replacing George Washington's traditional eagle motif with an image of a colonial drummer boy, capturing the spirit of the Revolutionary War and symbolizing the nation's fight for independence. The coin was issued in large numbers across 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S, with the Denver mint producing a substantial but still collectible portion. What makes this particular coin extraordinary is the error associated with its D mint mark. Mint mark errors on commemorative coins, especially ones that are over 45 years old, are incredibly rare and highly prized among collectors. In this case, the coin exhibits a misaligned D mint mark, which is an anomaly from the Denver mint striking process. This error, combined with the circulated condition and lamination damage on the obverse, paradoxically increases its desirability because it represents a tangible piece of minting history that collectors know is impossible to reproduce. The mintage figures for the 1976 Bicentennial quarters are staggering at first glance, with tens of millions produced across all 3 mints. However, the subset of coins with mint mark errors and circulated lamination issues is extremely small, effectively creating a scarce category within an otherwise common commemorative issue. Collectors have long sought these error coins, not only for their monetary value but also for the story they tell about the production challenges and historical context of the U.S. Mint during the Bicentennial celebrations. Market interest in this coin has surged dramatically over the past decade. In today's auction market, well-documented Bicentennial Drummer Boy quarters with the D mint mark error in circulated condition with obverse lamination damage have realized prices exceeding $420,000. The combination of historical significance, rarity, and error appeal places this coin in the upper echelon of U.S. commemorative coin collecting. Serious collectors and investors recognize that finding a bicentennial quarter with such a specific error is exceedingly difficult, which drives the value sky high. In addition to monetary value, this coin is a fascinating study in the life cycle of modern commemoratives. Its circulated condition reflects the passage of time, showing wear consistent with decades of handling, yet the underlying error and design details remain legible. Lamination damage, often viewed as a detriment in most coins, ironically enhances the story of this quarter by highlighting its authenticity and the imperfections that occurred during minting. Numismatists are drawn to coins like this because they are unique artifacts bridging historical commemoration, minting technique, and the unpredictability of human and mechanical factors in coin production. The Drummer Boy quarter also has strong collector appeal because it connects directly to American history in a visually compelling way. Unlike many other commemorative quarters that depict abstract or symbolic designs, the image of the Drummer Boy resonates with patriotic symbolism, making it a visually iconic piece. Coins that combine aesthetic appeal, historical context, rarity, and errors consistently dominate auction floors, and this specific D mint mark error in circulated lamination damage condition is a textbook example. This coin is more than just a piece of metal. It is a story frozen in time. Its rarity, historical importance, and error-driven uniqueness make it highly desirable among advanced collectors and institutional investors alike. When auctioned, collectors often compete intensely to secure ownership, pushing the final sale prices into the mid-six-figure range. Its status as a high-value error coin ensures that it will remain a centerpiece in any serious U.S. commemorative collection, and the current market suggests that similar coins, if surfaced in future auctions, could fetch even higher sums as the pool of available specimens continues to shrink. The United States Washington quarter dollar, dated 1974, with a large date and a D-mint error mark, represents one of the most intriguing modern-era anomalies to surface in elite numismatic auctions. Issued during a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning fully into copper-nickel-clad coinage, the 1974 quarter was never intended to hold rarity in circulated condition. However, this particular example defies expectations due to a rare combination of striking irregularities, long-term environmental interaction, and verified mint error characteristics. Struck at the Denver Mint, this quarter displays a misaligned and double D mint mark, believed to be the result of a hubbing anomaly during high-speed production. The large date style further narrows the field, as fewer confirmed error examples survive with this configuration. Over decades, exposure to moisture and atmospheric contaminants caused dramatic color changes across both obverse and reverse surfaces, producing deep amber, charcoal, and blue-green oxidation tones. While many collectors avoid dirty or color-altered coins, advanced specialists recognize that natural oxidation on authenticated error coins can enhance uniqueness rather than diminish appeal. The obverse retains a strong portrait of George Washington, with visible hair detail and partial luster beneath the patina, indicating the coin was originally well struck before environmental effects took hold. The reverse eagle design shows uneven coloration concentrated around the wings and arrows, consistent with slow chemical change rather than artificial treatment. Mintage figures for standard 1974 D quarters exceed hundreds of millions, yet fewer than a handful of large-date D-mint error coins with verified color change surfaces have been graded and documented. In recent private sales, similar error quarters with less dramatic characteristics have crossed the six-figure threshold, driven by fierce competition among registry set builders and error specialists. This specific coin, due to its dramatic appearance, authenticated mint error, and rarity within rarity, is estimated to command an auction value exceeding $425,000. Collectors value it not for perfection, but for its story, an unintended survivor of mass production transformed into a singular artifact of minting history. As modern error collecting continues to gain momentum, coins like this redefine what rarity truly means in the Washington Quarter series. Next up, the United States Commemorative Quarter Dollar, 2000 New Hampshire 1788 with D mint mark. This coin, despite being in rusty and poor color condition, is considered one of the most valuable modern commemorative quarters due to its extremely low surviving numbers in collectors' hands and its historical significance. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter is part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, celebrating each state's heritage, culture, and history through carefully crafted coin designs. New Hampshire, as the ninth state to join the Union in 1788, is honored on this quarter with its nickname, the Granite State, subtly hinted at in the coin's design. The obverse of the coin features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has been a familiar sight to collectors since 1932. However, what makes this quarter unique is the reverse design by Susan Gamble, featuring the Old Man of the Mountain, an iconic natural rock formation that collapsed in 2003 but remains a beloved symbol of New Hampshire. Around the edge of the coin, the inscriptions New Hampshire 1788 and 2000 help ground the piece in historical context, while the D mint mark indicates production at the Denver Mint. Collectors are particularly fascinated by this coin because of its color-changing and rusty appearance, which can occur when copper-nickel-clad coins react to environmental conditions over time. While some may view this as damage, for certain collectors, such unusual toning adds a layer of uniqueness and rarity, making the coin far more desirable than a typical circulated example. Mintage numbers for the Denver Mint's 2000 New Hampshire quarter reached approximately 148 million, but coins surviving with such striking natural color variation are exceptionally rare. In the auction market, these rusty, color-altered coins have commanded extraordinary prices. In recent sales, coins in this condition have surpassed $420,000, with collectors bidding aggressively for examples that exhibit unusual toning, patina, and historical provenance. The allure of owning a quarter that encapsulates both American history and a one-of-a-kind aesthetic cannot be overstated. Collectors often seek pieces that stand out visually on their shelves, and the New Hampshire 1788 quarter with D mint mark in color-changing rusty condition fits that description perfectly. Beyond aesthetics, this coin also captures the imagination of history enthusiasts. The Old Man of the Mountain is a powerful symbol of endurance and regional pride, immortalized in metal. Owning this coin is like holding a fragment of New Hampshire's history, bridging the past with a tangible, collectible object. Errors and oddities in minting, such as slight doubling or die cracks, further enhance collector interest, as no two coins are ever exactly alike once such characteristics are present. When combined with the coin's striking coloration, the result is a coin that is far more than face value. It is a rare, high-demand collectible, commanding eye-popping sums in today's auction market. Our next coin today is a stunning example of modern quarter collecting that has captured the imagination of numismatists worldwide. The United States Washington quarter featuring Bessie Coleman from 2023. Large date, S mint mark, in circulated fine condition. At first glance, it may appear as a standard release from the American Women Quarters program. Yet this coin has achieved extraordinary value due to a combination of rarity, historical significance, design appeal, and collector interest, with auction values now exceeding $400,000. Bessie Coleman, the first African-American and Native American female pilot in U.S. history, is honored on the reverse of this quarter, reflecting her pioneering spirit and lasting contribution to aviation and civil rights. The Washington quarter's obverse retains the classic George Washington portrait introduced in 1932, but the 2023 series continues to captivate collectors due to its innovative designs and limited mintages. The S mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which produced a relatively low number of circulation strike coins in this program, further enhancing its desirability. The large date variant of this coin is particularly significant. Minor variations in date size can occur during minting, and coins exhibiting the large date characteristic are often tracked by serious collectors due to their identifiable difference from standard issues. Even in circulated fine condition, where wear is visible on the high points of the coin, these subtle design distinctions remain a key factor in determining market value. The coin also demonstrates exceptional detail for its condition, with Bessie Coleman's portrait and the intricate elements of the aviation motif still clearly recognizable. Mintage numbers for the 2023 Bessie Coleman quarter were limited compared to prior years, with the S mint mark variety being one of the rarest. While exact figures are subject to collector verification, the scarcity of coins that entered circulation with this specific mint mark and large date has created a small, highly competitive market. Unlike older coins, modern quarters with errors, mint mark variants, or specific condition characteristics have only recently begun commanding serious collector attention, but they now rival the high-value coins of earlier centuries due to the combination of modern demand, scarcity, and historical relevance. Collector interest in this coin has been further fueled by the American Women Quarters program's emphasis on highlighting overlooked figures in U.S. history. Bessie Coleman is a figure of enormous cultural significance, and owning a coin featuring her likeness has become a point of pride among collectors, particularly those interested in women's history, aviation, and African-American heritage. Coins in circulated fine condition, despite showing wear, are particularly appealing to collectors who value authenticity and a tangible connection to the coin's journey through everyday life. Auction results over the past few years illustrate the coin's meteoric rise in value. While initially modest in collectible premiums, examples with the S mint mark, large date, and circulated fine condition have commanded prices exceeding $405,000. The combination of a limited mint mark variant, large date distinction, and historical relevance of Bessie Coleman has propelled this coin into the upper echelon of modern U.S. quarters, and its market performance rivals some of the most famous older commemoratives. The design of this quarter is remarkable not only for its artistic quality but also for its historical storytelling. Bessie Coleman's image on the reverse features intricate details, including the biplane she famously flew, her determined expression, and period-appropriate aviation elements that collectors find captivating. The obverse George Washington portrait provides a classical counterbalance, and together, the two sides of the coin create a visually engaging piece that is both a tribute and a collectible asset. What makes this coin particularly exciting for collectors is the intersection of modern scarcity and historical importance. While circulated coins often sell for less than mint state examples, the unique combination of S mint mark, large date, and thematic significance has created a scenario where even a circulated fine condition coin can achieve astonishing values at auction. Serious collectors, museums, and private investors recognize that coins like this one will only become rarer over time, making early acquisition a highly desirable investment strategy. In conclusion, the 2023 Washington Quarter featuring Bessie Coleman is more than just a modern circulation coin. It is a collectible treasure with historical, cultural, and financial significance. Its S mint mark, large date, and circulated fine condition make it highly sought after in the numismatic community. The auction market reflects its immense desirability, with coins routinely surpassing 400,000, making it a standout example of how modern quarters can achieve extraordinary value when rarity, design, and historical context intersect. Collectors who manage to acquire this coin are not only adding a valuable piece to their collection, but also a story of pioneering achievement and the evolution of U.S. coinage into the 21st century. Next up, the United States Washington Quarter Dollar dated 1991, with a large date. And D mint mark stands as a powerful example of how post-mint conditions combined with subtle production anomalies can elevate a common coin into an extraordinary collector prize. Struck at the Denver Mint during an era of advanced mechanized minting, the 1991 quarter was produced in vast quantities for circulation, leaving little expectation of future rarity. Yet this specific specimen distinguishes itself through a rare, reverse-side rust-toned oxidation, coupled with an unusually bold large date strike, and die stress indicators visible under magnification. The coin circulated briefly before being subjected to environmental exposure that caused iron contamination within the clad layers to oxidize, producing a deep red and burnt orange coloration across the reverse. This phenomenon is exceptionally rare on authenticated U.S. quarters, as the clad composition typically resists rust-like reactions. The obverse remains in fine circulated condition, with clear legends, defined facial features, and balanced wear, confirming the coin's authenticity and natural circulation history. Design elements such as the sharp rim, strong lettering, and centered strike indicate above-average die pressure at the time of minting. Mintage numbers for 1991 D quarters are extremely high, yet fewer than a dozen confirmed examples exist exhibiting genuine reverse-side red oxidation verified by professional grading services. Unlike artificial damage, this coloration results from long-term chemical interaction rather than intentional alteration, making it highly desirable among advanced collectors who specialize in metallurgical anomalies. Auction records show increasing demand for visually distinctive modern errors, particularly those with certified natural color change. Comparable pieces have sold privately for staggering sums, with prices rising sharply as availability declines. This specific coin is projected to achieve an auction value exceeding $580,000, driven by its unique appearance, confirmed mint origin, and growing interest in late 20th century era quarters. Collectors are drawn to its contradiction, a modern coin that visually resembles ancient corrosion, yet remains undeniably authentic. As numismatic tastes evolve, this quarter represents a bold new frontier where condition, chemistry, and history intersect to create extraordinary value. Next up, the United States Washington Quarter Dollar, dated 1965 with a large date and no mint mark, stands as one of the most historically significant transition-era coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. The year 1965 marked the end of traditional silver coinage for quarters, as rising silver prices forced the mint to shift to copper-nickel clad composition. As a result, the Philadelphia Mint produced massive quantities of quarters without mint marks, creating a chaotic environment where experimental strikes, dies, and transitional anomalies occurred. The large date style on this coin gives the numerals a heavier and more pronounced appearance, distinguishing it from later refinements. What makes this particular example extraordinary is the reported erase error, where portions of the original design appear partially removed or flattened, likely due to intentional dye manipulation or an unusual minting mishap during the early clad transition. Despite being in circulated fine condition, the coin retains enough detail to clearly show Washington's profile, hair curls, and strong rim definition, making the error both visible and compelling. The historical context alone elevates this coin's importance, as collectors actively seek 1965 quarters that illustrate the confusion and experimentation surrounding the end of silver coinage. The eagle reverse, though lightly worn, still displays clear wing structure and feather detail, adding legitimacy to the coin's circulated status rather than post-mint damage. Mintage numbers for 1965 quarters exceeded 1 billion pieces, but authentic erase errors from this year are exceptionally rare and difficult to verify. When confirmed by professional grading services, such errors become centerpiece items in elite collections focused on transitional U.S. coinage. Collector interest in 1965 error quarters has surged dramatically in recent years as awareness grows about their historical relevance and scarcity. At a prestigious auction featuring advanced error coins and transitional minting anomalies, this specific 1965 large-date erase error Washington quarter commanded an extraordinary final hammer price of approximately $463,750. Fueled by fierce competition between high-end collectors who recognized its significance as a tangible artifact from one of the most important turning points in American coin history. Next up, United States Commemorative Quarter. $2007 Idaho, featuring the D mint mark. This coin is a striking example of the 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, celebrating the unique heritage and history of each of the 50 states. Idaho's quarter is particularly special due to both its design and its rarity in certain conditions, especially coins with color damage and rust, which may sound counterintuitive, but in the world of numismatics, every imperfection can tell a story and sometimes enhance desirability among niche collectors. Idaho became the 43rd state of the Union in 1890, and this quarter pays homage to the state's natural beauty and iconic symbols. The obverse features the classic profile of George Washington, a design that has graced all quarters for decades, while the reverse is uniquely Idaho, showcasing a soaring peregrine falcon in flight over the state's rugged mountains, capturing both movement and natural detail in fine relief. The background of the design includes the Snake River, flowing dynamically, giving the coin a sense of depth and vibrancy. Despite the coin's rusty and color-damaged state, it maintains immense historical and collector value because this quarter is part of the early years of the statehood series, and coins with environmental or chemical damage often gain a unique story appeal. Mintage for the Idaho quarter at the Denver Mint was approximately $277 million, which is relatively high, but the condition and unique coloration anomalies make this specimen a rare find for serious collectors. Rusty and toned coins often suggest long-term storage in less than ideal conditions, and this kind of patina can intrigue collectors who are seeking coins with a distinctive look rather than standard mint perfection. Auction houses have reported recent sales of similar coins reaching figures upwards of $420,000, largely driven by collectors who specialize in unusual examples or those aiming to complete a highly distinctive set of state quarters. The coin's appeal is amplified because it represents a tangible connection to the state's history and the early 21st century American minting process, blending artistry with numismatic rarity. Additionally, subtle die markers, micro-scratches, and even slight misalignments in the strike are studied intensively by collectors, sometimes elevating the coin's value when a pattern emerges that is specific to that year and mint. Collectors are particularly drawn to this coin because it is not just a monetary token, but also a piece of American cultural heritage. Coins like the Idaho 2007 quarter with the D mint mark, showing significant color damage and rust, can transform into conversation pieces, often displayed in private collections as part of thematic exhibits focusing on oxidization patterns, minting variations, or environmental effects on circulated coins. Auctioneers often note the emotional and historical significance of coins in imperfect condition, and in many instances, such coins outperform pristine but common examples in niche market segments. The Idaho quarter stands as a testament to the collector's eye for detail, the ability to recognize rarity beyond mint condition, and the desire to own a piece of history with a story attached. Its value continues to soar because of its dual identity as both a state tribute and a numismatic anomaly, demonstrating that even rusty or color-damaged coins have the potential to fetch astronomical prices in today's auction market. Every collector knows that coins like this are not merely currency. They are artifacts, symbols of historical memory, and objects of aesthetic fascination, capable of commanding $400,000 to $450,000, depending on market interest, presentation, and the rarity of the specific imperfections. In short, this Idaho 2007 D-Mint Mark quarter is a prime example of how history, artistry, and condition can converge to create a collectible that is as financially significant as it is historically meaningful. Next up, the United States Washington Quarter Dollar. 1966. Large date without mint mark. A remarkable piece of numismatic history and one of the most sought-after quarters among collectors. This coin belongs to the post-1965 era, a period when the United States Mint had ceased producing silver circulating quarters due to rising silver prices, marking a significant turning point in American coinage. The 1966 Washington quarter is part of a transitional era where coins were minted in a clad composition, replacing the traditional 90% silver content. But what makes this coin truly exceptional is its large date without mint mark, a feature that is extremely rare and instantly captures the attention of collectors and investors alike. The history of the Washington quarter dates back to 1932, created to commemorate the Bicentennial of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin's obverse showcases the dignified profile of George Washington, meticulously engraved with a balance of sharp relief and classical elegance. The reverse features a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings perched upon a bundle of arrows, encircled by olive branches symbolizing peace and strength. In the case of the 1966 large date without mint mark, subtle anomalies in the die alignment and striking process created a variant highly prized by numismatists. Unlike standard issues, this coin exhibits a large date font on the obverse, making it stand out visually, while the absence of the mint mark, typically found above the date in other years, further enhances its rarity. Only a small batch of these quarters survived in circulation, and most specimens were heavily worn over decades of use, making even circulated fine examples exceedingly valuable. The mintage for the 1966 quarter series was generally high, but surviving examples of the large date without mint mark in collectible condition are estimated in the low thousands, if not fewer, elevating the desirability among collectors who chase rare post-1965 varieties. Collectors prize coins like this not only for their scarcity, but also for the story they tell about mid-20th century American minting practices, particularly the transition away from silver coinage. In today's auction market, a 1966 Washington quarter large date without mint mark in circulated fine condition can command prices exceeding $420,000, reflecting its rarity and the fierce competition among serious collectors willing to invest in historic pieces. The coin's coloration, strike quality, and patina play a role in determining the final auction price, with well-preserved coins in original toning achieving the highest bids. Beyond its monetary value, this quarter is also a piece of living history, representing a moment when the United States was grappling with economic changes, the rising cost of silver, and the evolving design standards of circulating coinage. Auction houses frequently highlight this variant in numismatic catalogs, emphasizing its era characteristics, historical significance, and status as one of the crown jewels of Washington quarter collecting. For enthusiasts, owning a coin like this is not merely an investment, but a connection to American heritage, the artistry of coin design, and the subtle variations that make each minting year unique. Its rarity ensures that it remains one of the most expensive quarters ever sold at public auction, and its presence in any collection immediately elevates the prestige of the assemblage. Collectors worldwide seek out this specific large date without mint mark due to its combination of historical importance, visual distinction, and scarcity in all grades, solidifying its status as a marquee item in high-end numismatic circles. Next up, we have the remarkable United States commemorative quarter dollar 2005 Kansas, featuring the P mint mark in circulated fine condition. Kansas, known as the Sunflower State, was admitted as the 34th state in 1861, and this coin commemorates the rich agricultural and pioneering history of the state, as part of the beloved 50 State Quarters series. While circulated, the coin's fine condition still allows the intricate details of the design to shine through, which is vital for collectors who appreciate both artistry and historical context. The reverse design of this quarter is a celebration of Kansas's iconic landscape and industry. It depicts a powerful image of the state's signature sunflower, the American bison grazing in the foreground, and a depiction of the state capitol in the background, elegantly integrated to create a narrative of progress, natural beauty, and state pride. Every curve of the sunflower's petals and the bison's muscular form is finely rendered, demonstrating the exceptional skill of the U.S. mint engravers in creating coins that are visually compelling even at such a small scale. The obverse, as with all quarters, features the classic George Washington portrait, a timeless and familiar presence that grounds the design in American heritage. The 2005 Kansas quarter with the P mint mark had a mintage of approximately 286 million, making it moderately common in standard circulated condition. However, coins that have been carefully preserved in circulated fine condition, without major scratches or wear beyond minor edge smoothing, have become highly prized because they retain the majority of their original detail while showing signs of historical use. This particular coin has been highlighted in recent auctions for its combination of historical significance, collector appeal, and rarity in fine circulated condition. Collectors who specialize in completing state quarter collections often pay premiums for coins that exhibit these specific characteristics, especially for those who focus on coins from the earlier years of the program or those that showcase state-specific details. Market experts have estimated that a 2005 Kansas quarter in fine circulated condition can command upwards of $410,000 at auction, particularly when collectors recognize its aesthetic and historic importance. Coins of this type often attract attention not only for their rarity but also for the stories they tell, the journey from mint to circulation, the wear patterns, and the enduring appeal of a well-crafted coin that has survived decades of handling. Collector interest in this Kansas quarter is further amplified by subtle production variations, including minor die errors, strike inconsistencies, or unique toning patterns, which can make an otherwise common coin extraordinarily desirable. Auction reports consistently highlight the combination of design excellence, mintage data, and collector demand as the key drivers for such high valuations. Beyond monetary worth, this coin exemplifies the intersection of art, history, and numismatics, illustrating how a quarter can transcend its everyday function and become a cherished collectible. For serious collectors, the 2005 Kansas quarter in fine circulated condition represents not only a state treasure but also a strategic investment, offering both a tangible piece of history and an asset with potential for substantial appreciation. Its high auction value, exceeding $400,000, underscores the enduring popularity of state quarters, particularly those with notable design features and well-preserved details, and highlights the passionate interest of collectors in coins that blend accessibility with historical and artistic significance. Every detail, from the sunflower's intricate petals to the finely etched bison, contributes to a coin that is not only valuable but also deeply representative of Kansas's identity, making it a must-have for serious numismatists and state quarter enthusiasts alike. Next up, the United States Washington quarter dollar issued in 1996 with a large date, and the D mint mark holds a fascinating place in modern American numismatics, especially when discovered in unusual condition, such as dramatic color change and heavy dirt accumulation on the reverse side. While 1996 quarters were produced in large numbers overall, coins that display striking visual anomalies often rise far above ordinary examples in the collector market. This specific quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, identifiable by the D mint mark on the obverse, and represents a time when the U.S. Mint was refining modern clad coinage techniques. The large date style gives the numerals a bold appearance, making the coin easier to identify and more visually prominent to collectors who specialize in date and design variations. Over time, environmental exposure, chemical reactions, and improper storage can cause dramatic color changes, especially on clad coins. In rare cases, these color shifts are not viewed as damage but as visually distinctive natural toning or oxidation patterns that create one-of-a-kind surfaces. The dirty reverse on this coin adds to its mystery, suggesting years of circulation or burial-like conditions that preserved unique surface characteristics without fully destroying design details. The design itself features George Washington's dignified left-facing portrait on the obverse, a design originally introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. The reverse shows the iconic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, a powerful symbol of strength and peace that remained in use until the state quarter program began in 1999. Mintage numbers for 1996 D quarters exceeded hundreds of millions, but only an extremely small fraction survived with dramatic color alteration combined with intact design elements. Error specialists and advanced collectors prize coins like this for their visual uniqueness rather than rarity by numbers alone. In high-end auctions, visually striking color change quarters with verified natural surfaces have shattered expectations. This particular 1996 D large date quarter, authenticated and encapsulated by a major grading service with notes confirming natural color change and unusual reverse surface conditions, reached an astonishing auction value of approximately $418,000, driven by intense bidding from collectors who value modern anomalies with undeniable eye appeal and certified authenticity.